Hey everybody. I don't know what the hell I'm doing on StreamYard because I thought this was gonna be record only. I put it on record only, but it's saying go live. So what the fuck ever. Anyway, baby, this is a first part of a two-part episode. The first part, this is just me talking, you know, giving out information. We're going to do racism versus classism, and we're going to do different types of racism and classism. The first one we're going to do is internalized. The second one is individual or interpersonal. The second one is societal or cultural. And then the last one will be institutional. This will be a short little podcast slash episode slash whatever you want to do. Because, like I said, I really think I did this wrong and I really don't think I meant to go live, but I think I'm live anyway. But if I'm not live, oh well, hell, you see it anyway. Into who? First, we're going to do internalized racism. I have my cards, so try to keep on track. I'm just going to go. I'm just going to talk. All right, so examples of internalized racism. Okay, a black or brown child believes that they are intelligent as white students because of the media, family, messages. Folks are just basically telling them, yeah, you're not as good as little Tommy, little what's a down the street. That's internalized racism. And that goes on in our community a lot. And one thing that really pisses me off about that is that if a child or an adult or anything, speaks proper English, they don't curse, they don't do all this. Oh, you think you white. Oh, you this. Okay, so what is it to be black? So are you telling me that being a negative person is what black people do? So I never really understood that, but that is an example of internalized racism. Like I said, telling a child that they sound white or a person. Oh, you sound white. How do you sound black? All right. Or, telling a black or brown child, I'm gonna say a BIPOC, telling a BIPOC person that they're acting white or they're trying to be white because they have good grades or they have a good job or things like that. Those are all examples of internalized racism that we have to deal with. Even white people, they have internalized racisms at two. And those they have two different spectrum of it. Either upper middle class, and lower class. They all have some form of internalized racism. Every culture has it, not just black people, every culture has it. All right. Or telling a BIPOC individual that they are a sellout because they don't want to stay in lower income because they work, they get a job, they get an education to do better, to actually get out of the slums or out of where they where they grew up. Then they're considered a sellout. What? Wanting to do better is being a sellout. But anyway, I will keep going. All right, so now we're going to go into internalized classism. Higher income families are believed to be better. That is an internalized classism. They just think just because they're rich or they have more money that they are better. It's classism. No. Just because they are a rich person does not make them a better person. They could still be a shitty person and have millions of billions of dollars. I mean, I could say a lot of examples of shitty rich people just because they have money does not make them better. Another, higher income families believe their success is self-earned and they worked hard to get there. Y'all already know the example I am about to say. When Kim Kardashian said that shit, basically get up off your ass and work. When you were your daddy brought home all the money. Baby, your daddy got OJ off and you've been rich the rest of your life. Yeah, did you make your own money? Of course you made your own money, but best believe that silver spoon helps you get fat enough to make your money. All right, okay. Okay, all right. So that's that. Now that is internalized classism and internalized racism. I'm talking we can go on and on about the internalized classism and how higher income families believe that they are better. They teach their children that they are better. Y'all can argue with me in the comments that y'all want to. Don't argue with me. Argue with your mama. All right. So now I told we're gonna keep this going. We're gonna keep this going. So now we're going to get into individual racism and individual classism. All right. Now, a perfect example of this is if you have not seen the video from Viter High School, yes, in 2022, where all the little happy smiling white children was saying the N word with the hard ER. The hard ER. So that is individual or it's a personal racism when a student or another individual uses racial slurs against another person, be they black, white, because white folks got words for each other too. That's all internal racism. Babe, I done heard so many white folks call other white folks po white trash and all this other. That's internalized racism. Well, individual racism. And you can be racist against your own people. I've seen it on my side. I've seen it on their side. So let's go and get that out there. And there's a difference between racism and prejudice. Let's get that out there. Racism is power. It's a power construct that is used to suppress another race. It can be any race. Mostly black and brown. Go ahead and say it. Mostly black and brown. I'm trying to be politically correct. Most of the black and brown people are affected by racism. Then some white folks will come in, oh, well, I experienced this. Oh, I experienced that's because you are a lower class. That is classism. That is not racism. You do not have any institution or any laws or anything that is keeping you from succeeding. The only thing that's keeping you from succeeding is because you don't have money. There is a difference. But honey, that goes into institutional. So I'm going off. All right, another individual racism is teachers, employers, or other staff members allow racism to go on in front of them and don't say anything. Silence is being complicit. If you don't say anything, you're just as bad. If you hear students using racial slurs against each other and you do not stop it and you do not say anything, you are being complicit. If you are an employer or an employee and you actively see racism or racial slurs being used, or a black and brown or a person of color is being mocked or being suppressed or being not being treated fairly, and you allow that, you are complicit. So now we're gonna go into classism individual. All right, so we're also I'm trying to do this in the schools and out of the schools because it happens everywhere. Those are the main places that we see this. So now we're going to do classism individual. And an example of that is a teacher punishes a student for not having all of their supplies when the family cannot afford it. I'm gonna say it again because this still happens. This happened to it when I was growing up. They got the supply list and a big long ass supply list. And if they didn't have all of their supplies, they basically were called out. Like, why you don't have your pencil? They sent home this. Ooh, they're ostracized and talked about in front of the class. And I have had to check some teachers on that because everybody can't afford them big long ass list, and it be $100 worth of shit. Baby, who needs 30 boxes of crayons? Who needs 10 boxes of tissue? Like, some of the stuff is ridiculous. But anyway, honey, I'm getting off topic. So, like I said, a teacher punishes a student for not having all of their supplies when the family cannot afford it. That is classism. Or let's go ahead and do it for the grown folks. An employee writes up or punishes an employee because they cannot get to work either that day or get on time because, they can't afford the gas. They probably got to go borrow money for gas to get to work. And they are punished because they cannot afford gas. Or if an employee comes in and they're not in uniform, because they probably wasn't able to wash their clothes or couldn't afford an extra pair of extra pair of pants or an extra shirt or something like that, and they're punished because they're not able to do that. That is a form of classism. If you know that your students or your employer or employees or something are having problems with supplies, there's nothing wrong with helping them out. There's nothing wrong with having extra shirts at work or extra pair of pants or something at work. Because hell, it's hard out here. Rent high as hell. And wages are not increasing. Gas is an arm and a leg and 5 toes a gallon. So people basically are working just for gas to get to work. It's ridiculous. Everything is going up. Groceries, rent, bills, everything going up except wages. But baby, that's a whole nother thing. Cause honey, I could talk about that all day. But like I said, we're gonna go through this. We're gonna go through. All right, make sure I ain't getting my stuff. All right. Societal racism. We finna get into it. Then we're gonna talk about societal classism. All right, black and brown people are perceived to be more aggressive. That is one of the biggest things that get to me. Why are black and brown people perceived to be aggressive? They're perceived to be violent even before we open our mouths. That is societal racism. You just basically look at somebody and be like, you know what? They're aggressive, they're mean, they're that just because of this here. All right, so another form of societal racism is laws that are made to suppress the abilities to get ahead. There are many laws that were made after slavery was abolished. But yeah, folks say, oh, they can't do that anymore. That's illegal. Yeah, it is illegal, but it still happens. Hey, look at the police force. Everyone say, oh, well, y'all just 13%. It's impossible for the police to be killing y'all a majority. But let me tell you something. A black or brown person is 3 to 4 times more likely, the number may be higher than that, to be killed by a police officer than a white person that did the same crime. Let's go ahead and talk about it. A black or brown person or any type of person of color is more likely to get a heavier sentence than a white person that has done the same crime. Y'all can look that up. I'm not going to go back and forth. Y'all can look it up because it's out there. It's in your face. All right, like I said, police enough said. Redlining. We're going to talk about redlining. Yes, it is illegal. Redlining is very illegal. You cannot do it anymore. But they just put other little means to do it. All right, let's talk about why in the world that you have an education level when you're trying to buy a house. Baby, they want an education level. Income, that's a way to weed out who they want in and out of their neighborhoods. Education level. Credit score is another way to weed out who they want in their communities. That is a form of redlining. We just can't say, oh, they're redlining, because like I said, they have things in place. They can say, oh no, They just didn't meet the requirements. I see it all the time. Oh, they didn't meet the requirements. You can have a credit score, but don't have the work history. You can have the income, but don't have the credit score. You can have the credit score, but don't have the education level. They're always going to find a way to say, not in my house. That's a form of redlining. Can I say, oh, I'm big? Oh, that's a form of redlining. No, because they're going to say, oh, well, I'm sorry, Miss Kim. You meet the income requirements, but your credit score is too low. You just worry about me making sure I pay this rent. I have the money to pay the rent, but you're going to keep me from living in this house because you don't want me there. And I'm just not going, I'm using me as an example because I'm using me as an example. It's my show. But anyway, media. We're going to talk about how the media is helping push Black and brown and people of color are being more aggressive. I mean, come on, look at the music. Look, and we're putting the music out. We putting the music out. We put music out. We beating bitches, selling drugs, killing folks up and down the street, doing drive-bys, making folks mamas cry, and all this other stuff. So when they listening to this music, baby, they like, oh well, shit, that's all they do. Sell drugs, beat bitches, kill each other, make mamas cry, and all this other shit. Because that's all that's being put out. That's making Black folks look bad. That's making brown people look bad. That's making all people of color look bad because they already perceive us to be aggressive, violent people. Look, that's all they talk about. Killing folks, that's all they talk about. And so, movies. It took me so, they're being damn near grown to re-watch some of the movies that I watched. And I was just like, damn, that's fucked up. It's so much racism in these movies. Most of the time, the villain is some person of color. I'm just not gonna put Black folks in it because sometimes it's everybody, any person of color. They're the victim or the perpetrator. It's always something negative. Always something negative, and I'm like, come on, let's do better. So folks are watching these movies where the person of color is always something negative. What you think gonna happen? They're gonna be like, well, that must be them for real. Because folks can't put two and two together and get four. They put two and two together and they get five. Well, that's all I'm seeing here. That must be the way that they are. We got to do better. We have to do better on the way that we represent ourselves in all forms of media. Music, television, TV shows. We have to do better. We have to demand more positive roles for people of color in movies. We're more than, drive-by shooters. We're more than slaves and maids and all this stuff in movies. Like there has to be more positive roles for people of color. Come on. Come on. All right, and we already said TV shows. TV shows, baby. I don't even watch that much television because I'm just fucking tired of it. All we do is steal, kill, rob, hang out with the homies, and fuck bitches. I'm tired. I'm tired of it. That's all we do on TV. I don't even watch TV no more. All right, so classism. We're gonna talk about cultural societal classism. Because baby, I could go on societal and cultural racism in the two, baby. I'm so tired. All right. So higher income parents are believed to be better than lower income parents. I touched on that. That is a societal racism. Just because you have money, you're perceived to be better. And a lower income family is perceived to be a neglectful family because they're not able to afford all the things that a higher income family can, or they have to work harder in order to get it. Yeah, they may not get it this week. They may have to wait a couple of weeks in order to get it, but they're still perceived as lacking parenting skills. And that's, to, to me, my opinion on that, that is utter bullshit. Because some of the best parents I have ever met in my life were middle class to lower class parents because they were humble. They knew how to make things work. They appreciated everything that their children are so appreciative because they know the value of a dollar. They know the value of hard work and what it takes to get it, instead of just snapping a finger and, oh, mommy and daddy will get it for me. I don't have to wait. I can get it now. So that's something just to think about. That really bothers me, that higher income parents are believed to be better than lower income. Because baby, them lower income parents, they work so hard and pour so much love and caring into their children. Not saying that higher income parents don't do it, but I see it more in lower income parents. Okay, let's go ahead and say it. Higher income or richer people get better health care. They're able to afford insurance, or if insurance does not pay for something that they need done, they're able to pay for it themselves. Let's just go ahead and get that out there. That's societal classism. They just have better, they not perceived. They just get better health care, they get better everything because they have the money to pay for it. They can afford the big, crazy policies, the insurance policies. They can afford all that. We can't, because let's face it, good insurance, you damn near got to give up your firstborn. And then some people, the only way they have insurance is through their jobs. Because trying to get an individual insurance, which to me that's a whole nother topic. That's a whole nother show. Insurance is ridiculous. And they say, oh yeah, well, they have state insurance. State insurance only does so much, and only so many people deal with state insurance. Now, if you want to go to Dr. Nobody in the back alley, yeah, he takes state insurance. But I need somebody who not gonna try to do surgery on a dumpster to take care of me. Not saying that state insurance does not have good doctors, because some states insurance do have good doctors, but you will have better doctors if you pay for your own insurance. If your personal pay, all my medical folks know personal pay. Get personal pay insurance. Oh, baby, they open the doors. They roll out the carpet, baby. You get the gold cups. You don't drink tap water, baby. You get that Avion sparkling water. It's all a form of classism. But they don't want to do universal health care for all, because then everybody be on the same level. They don't want everybody on the same level. They want different levels. So they can finish creating the divide that they have. If they can't get us with racism, they're gonna get us with classism. Either way it go, you gonna get got. So if they make everything of the level, everybody's on the same playing field, they don't want that. Tell you what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. All right, so okay. We'll go ahead and say it. Richer people get away with more crimes. They get away with more crimes. And if they do get a sentence, it's much lighter. It's much lighter. I mean, because some crimes you got to get some time for. You just have to. But trust and do believe your time is not going to be. Okay, perfect example. Y'all know about that little swimmer boy that was caught with that girl unconscious, laid up, going to town on her, going to town. He was caught. They called the police on him. But you know, he from Muncie. Baby, that judge said he didn't want to ruin that boy's his life for a mistake when he was sexually assaulting a passed out woman. He had a career behind him. He's a good student. That's a good boy. That's a good American boy. He just doing what boys do, and he doesn't need to be punished for that. But oh, let Jamal do that. Jamal from Watts. Let him do that. They're gonna throw him under the jail and put dirt on him. They're not gonna worry about his future. They're not gonna worry about how he does at school. They're not gonna worry about him being a good boy. They're gonna throw him away. All right, I say, oh well, Kim, that's just white. That's just white. That's just black and white. Okay, even though I'm gonna use this as an example because this was an example that was given to me. Now we all seen, yeah, we all see my boy Mr. Independence go up there and show everybody why everybody hate Chris. We seen that. Now, let that be me that went up there and showed the world why everybody hate Chris. Baby, they'd have met me at the step, throw handcuffs on me, threw me to the floor, tased me in my side, and threw me in the back of the car. That's classism. They got the money for the protection. Yeah, Chris didn't. Well, Kim, you can't say that because Chris didn't press charges. Okay, Chris didn't press charges. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about me going up there and walking off. I wouldn't be able to do that. You wouldn't have been able to do that. Anybody else wouldn't have been able to do that. And even if Chris pressed charges, I do believe that a judge wouldn't have went too hard on my boy Will. I don't believe he would have. He probably would have gave him probation, made him go see a counselor, made him pay restitution and all that stuff. I don't think he would have ever seen a day in jail. That's just me. And that was assault seen around the world. So, baby, classism works for people of color too with money. With money now. Don't y'all go out here with y'all little $50 in y'all hand thinking y'all finna pass the test. That ain't gonna do it. All right, and so that was cultural. All right, we did institutional racism. Oh, now we're finna do institutional racism. Where, and it's the last one. All right, institutional racism. A BIPOC children are suspended at a higher rate. And if you do not believe me, please Google this free. Put in school to prison pipeline. People say that that's not real, but it is. BIPOC children are suspended at a higher rate. They are disciplined at a higher rate for the most minute things. A child talking too much. I literally had to advocate for a child they said was talking, a little girl was talking too much. They wanted to suspend this child for talking. I told them, ain't no way. You're not suspending a child for talking. Because you can explain to her how she is, disrupting the class and you talk to her parents, but to literally, that's going to get this baby a 3-day suspension for talking. Yeah. And I also have a video on this particular school to prison pipeline. Y'all got to go down. Y'all got to go down. I didn't forget the name of it. I think it probably is school to prison pipeline or something like we're failing our children. It's something like I did a whole video on this with statistics, everything. So If y'all want to learn more about that, just dig through my videos and you'll find it. BIPOC children are given less opportunities to succeed. I said what I said. I said what I said. They are given less opportunities to succeed because they are already seen as non-intelligent, especially if they talk with a twang or they talk, I don't want to say Ebonics because I hate that, but a whole lot of people know what the fuck Ebonics is or AAVE, especially if they talk like that. They really think that those children are dumb and illiterate when that's just how they speak. So they're overlooked on opportunities, regardless if they get A's or B's. They're overlooked for opportunities. So yeah, I said what I said, and we can talk about that next week if you don't agree with me, or comment below if you don't agree with me. We can talk about it. But we're going to open this up for discussion next week. All right, so now we're gonna go to the adults. We're off the children. BIPOC people are overlooked for jobs. Yeah, they're overlooked for jobs. One reason why my name is Kimberly, so they don't know I'm Black until I walk into the job. That's another way. Matter of fact, on Karen on TikTok exposed a whole company that were basically throwing away people's applications because of their names. Because if the name sounded too ethnic, she didn't want Black or brown people working for her. Literally. So, yeah, it happens. It was also a woman, I forgot the name. She was also exposed. She was a Black woman who worked for HR. And they told them if the name sounds ethnic, to throw it away. And she was a Black woman. So, yeah, that happens. And once they do get the job, baby, they looked over. If they get a raise, they get the smallest one. That's why they don't want nobody talking about their wages. That's one of the first things I was told when I started working. Oh, don't let nobody know how much you make. Because come to find out, I was one of the lowest paid some bitches in that place. And I had been doing dialysis since 2009. Oh, baby, when we got to talking, how long you been working here? Oh, I just started last week. Ooh, you already know. And that person was getting $1 more than me. And I have been in that field since 2009. Oh, baby, I made the biggest funky mess I could make. I got my money. I sure the fuck did. But anyway, that's my experience. That's my experience. BIPOC people are more likely to be looked over for raises. And if they do get raises, they get the minimal raise than non-POC counterparts. Don't argue with me. Argue with the birds. Argue with them. Don't argue with me with that. All right, BIPOC people are overlooked for promotions. Very much so. I have heard stories where people have trained people, been working there for years. They trained someone and that person got the promotion. Now, the person that they trained is now their boss or now sitting in a higher position. And I know how some of y'all saying, well, then they should just quit. Or, they should ask for the promotion. Or they should make a big stink about it. Y'all don't see how that works. Y'all don't know what people going through. They might be the only person in their house working. Or a single mother with kids that's got to eat. And it's hard for them to find a job because this probably is the only job that works with their schedule. So basically, they have to stay there. You just can't say, well, just find another job. That's really easy for you to say when you don't know what's going on. So before you get that, mentality, that's a classist mentality. Oh, just go get another job. You don't know how hard it was for that person to get that job. So check yourself before you speak on someone else's situation. Check yourself and make sure you aren't sounding classist. All right, so that's it. I told y'all I was gonna be out here not that long. So next week we will talk about the information that I spoke on here. If you agree, if you disagree, if you want to add your little razzle dazzle to it, your little salt too, we can go ahead and do that. I did all this and didn't put none of this shit up here. Wow, these are all my social medias. I have my Twitter, my IG, my Twitch. I am on Twitch. Of course, TikTok, baby. And it's my Cash App and my Etsy. I make these bracelets. I make a lot of things. Go check it out. Waist beads. Oh, y'all see the waist beads hanging over there? That them over there. That's my little work area, baby. I make all my stuff. So go ahead. Shameless plug. Shameless plug. Of course, I'm plugging myself. But anyway, I will see y'all next week. I love y'all. There is no last sip because this was for educational purposes only. Educational purposes only. But I will tell y'all, go about y'all day, love your life, love yourself, love others, and do well. Be a shining light in a world of darkness. Be the best you can be while loving others. Don't forget to forgive yourself and give yourself grace because you deserve that shit. And I'll see y'all next week.